Welcome back, everyone, to Rob's Daily Classics. Today's top pick is a 1980 Triumph TR7 Convertible, the shape of things to come, or come and go, but found this car on Craigslist. Let's go check this car out. Yeah, the TR7 overall is a, why are you showing this video on Daily Classics? Well, Daily Classics is all about originality, condition, and price, and this car fits that description very well. It appears to be extremely well restored. The condition is amazing, and it's priced very well as far as I'm concerned, because you couldn't restore this car for $10,995. We'll get into the price in a little while. But the 1975 was the launch of the TR7 in the United States. It was purposely focused for the U.S. market and came here to the United States first before it was released in the U.K., and it really drove sales up. The car was originally launched in a coupe format, and it really brought a lot of attention to starving Triumph dealerships back in those days and sold very well when it was first launched. You got to remember, back in 1975, we had like the Scirocco and we had this car, and the styling on this car compared to the TR6 was much more modern, of course, and very aerodynamic back in those days as well. So January 1975, the car was launched here in the U.S. It had the 2.0-liter four-cylinder engine, about 105 horsepower, a downhill slope, maybe 110 miles an hour top speed. It wasn't really a high-performance car, although they did campaign these cars in Europe and did very well with the cars in a race-type format. You know, that's when the hardtop coupe was more rigid than the convertible. But in 1979 in the United States, I believe it was 79, the TR7 introduced the convertible. They called it a drop head coupe, DHC for short, but here we call it a convertible. And it came to the United States in 1979, and it really awakened the showrooms up again. And then, of course, it came out with the TR8. It was exclusively for the convertibles here in the United States. And the 8-cylinder engine is another story for another time. There's a couple of videos I'll link at the end of this video where I featured some TR8s as well. But as far as affordability goes, the prices on TR7s are the ones to capture when you're looking to buy something more on a budget and have a lot of fun. You know, about 115,000 total TR7s were built, and only 28,000 or so were convertibles. So, you know, here in the United States, most of the times you're going to find coupes. The convertibles in a TR7 are rare, but the convertibles in the TR8s are also common because they only made the 8-cylinder, the TR8, in the convertible here for the United States. So there was a lot of production problems. There were strikes, you know, in Coventry, England. The assembly plants, they had a lot of labor strikes during this time this car was built. So quality problems throughout the UK, especially in Coventry's assembly plant, was really bad. But then finally, British Leyland decided to move the car out of the Coventry plant. And by 1980, 81 is the better years for the TR7 and also for the TR8, because the quality improved dramatically from 1980 and beyond. And we only had it for 2 more model years here in the United States. So when you're hunting down a TR7 or TR8, if you can find 1980 or 81, those are the better model years, in my opinion, anyway. Triumph retired the whole marque back in 1984, so the car company went out of business. We stopped selling these cars here because, you know, the brand just stopped. It was costing too much money to federalize these cars. That's why these cars have the big rubber bumpers front and rear for the 5-mile-an-hour bumpers. But federalization for impact protection and everything else that went along during those days, it was becoming very expensive on the emission sides too. So goodbye to Triumph in 1981 here in the United States. Goodbye to Triumph totally in 1984 in the UK. The brand, I think, is now owned by BMW, who parked the name for a very long time, but I believe the brand's name, Triumph, is still owned by BMW, which they haven't done anything with. So that's a little backstory on the TR7. This car here in particular caught my attention because it's a good-looking car. It looks to be fully restored, which is amazing. It's in Arizona, which normally will demand that the car is in better condition. It's got a nice dashboard. Everything looks to be very modern, updated, stereo system with a backup camera, 5-speed manual transmission. I don't believe there was an overdrive. A blue top. It looks like the original top might be a little faded. Door panels, this plaid door panels were the rage back then. The plaid seats and the plaid door panels was also 1970s. So the car screams 1970s with its, ashtray here in the door. So when you smoke your cigarette, you can put your ashes here in the door panel. What a time. Steering wheel looks really nice. It's an aftermarket steering wheel. The dashboard doesn't look like it has any cracks in it, which is really a testament to the car's condition. Very nice driving position. You really feel like you're in a cockpit when you're driving the cars. They handle real well. It has a live axle in the rear with multi-link and a coil spring. Again, it's not an aggressive racing type car, but it is an enjoyable riding car with a softer ride to it. And there's those original seats. I don't know if the seat cushions were changed, but that's the original pattern type of seats that they had during that time. Again, dashboard looks really nice. Complete guide to the Triumph comes with the car. Back in the 70s, for some reason unknown, everybody was putting these luggage racks on the trunks. So even Buick had those on their Buick LeSabres. And, I don't know why luggage racks were so popular. But this car is fully restored and looks really nice. The paint work on this car looks great. All the interior, the engine components, the power brake boosters, I believe it was front disc brakes, rear drum brakes. Everything looks new, even the bolts and nuts for the assembly here for the struts. So this car just comes across really, really nice. You couldn't build this car for $10,000 by any means here in the United States. Just the painting a car here would cost you $8,000, $9,000 easy. So here he goes on. It says two-owner car, 2.0 liter, 5-speed, 3,000 miles since a 2017 total restoration, $24,000 invested, rebuilt engine, new clutch, tires, yada yada. Two-owner car, recent collection, runs and drives excellent, ready to go. And I believe it is. I think this car is a great deal. It's got those BBS wheels, whatever they were styled back then, but they look like they're BBS styled wheels. I think this car is a great deal, and I'm going to even say that it's worth its full asking price of $10,995. But if you can buy this car for $9,000 flat, I think you'd have a lot of fun with it. And they're not overly complicated cars to work on and to get into. They're just a fun driving car and a good way to get into the hobby. I still think this car will attract a lot of attention for good and bad reasons sometimes at auto shows, but you buy these cars to have fun with. And again, originality, condition, and price. This car fits those three areas of criteria very well. And originality is replaced with restored, but the condition is amazing. So really nice car. So if you like this car, please find this car on Craigslist. Just type in Triumph TR7. It's located outside of Arizona. Where out in Arizona is this? Tucson? Phoenix? Outside of Phoenix, Arizona, so not too far north of Phoenix. Normally those cars, if they're kept out of the sun, they're really in nice condition. I would love to see an undercarriage of this car, but looking at this engine bay, I'm thinking that this picture alone really motivates me to look at this car. So when you see mechanical restoration so well done, I'm thinking this car is definitely worth its asking price. So anyway, if you like this car, go to Craigslist and find it. And if you like Daily Classics, we'd love to see you here on Daily Classics. Just subscribe and hit that subscribe button. And if you like these type of videos, please give a thumbs up and share it with friends that love cars as well. And that's it, So let's go back to that first picture. There it is. 1980 Triumph TR7 fully restored, BBS wheels, whatever type wheels they are, with a luggage rack, big rubber bumpers front and rear. You buy this car, you'll have a lot of fun. This is Rob. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you again on Rob's Daily Classics. Have a great day.